Next, we're very fortunate. There's two primary sponsors. This is an international day for peace. No war with Iran, by the way. There's over 200, at this point we're up to over 200 events around the country and in fact around the world. One of the sponsors is Code Pink, and the other sponsor is Answer, which is Act Now to Stop War and End Racism. And so we're very fortunate to have a representative from Answer, Siata Mohapatra, and please give him a warm welcome.
Peace everyone, my name is Satya and I am an organizer with the Answer Coalition. We are one of the organizations that called for this demonstration that's happening over 200 cities right now. Let's be very clear, US military presence in West Asia or Middle East as you say here is nothing but pure sinister. It has always been that way. All US wars and occupation of the Middle East have been based on lies, deception.
That's right.
Yes.
Weapon of mass destruction, lies. Humanitarian intervention, lies. Let's start with Iraq, actually. Friends, recently the Iraqi parliament voted unanimously the removal of US troops. Pompeo and Trump rejected it with utter imperialist arrogance and hubris. 17 years of occupation has killed 500,000 people of Iraq. Never forget that. A few million people marched yesterday in the streets of Iraq with the chants, no, no to America, and no, no to occupation. The Iraqi people demand freedom, independence, dignity, and self-determination. They are deciding the course of their own history. We speak up today to support the Iraqi people's demand for a sovereign and independent nation without US war, interventions, or sanctions. We can take lesson from the massive civil disobedience happening in Iraq right now. It is not only yesterday. Over the past 3 months, the Iraqi people have shut down major roads, bridges, taken over public squares, staged walkouts from schools, and launched industrial strikes through their unions. They are demanding a real structural change, an ousting of the US troops and militias, a removal of the US imposed constitution and the sectarian quota system. In short, no to America. Iraqis, Iranians, Syrians, Palestinians don't want any country, foreign or regional, in their lands. The US government installed the system in the first place that allowed Iraq to become a playground for foreign powers. Working class, poor, oppressed and exploited people around the world don't want war, but big banks, oil companies, weapon manufacturers do.
Yes.
Top business people and high-ranking US officials are the people who should stand in any conflict.
Yes.
These entities will use US troops as pawn for profit. Now let's talk about Iran. Since the Iranian Revolution in 1979, the United States has continually tried to bring Iran back under its influence using economic sanctions. Trump has furthered the severe sanction that has resulted in Iran's GDP falling rapidly and its unemployment rate increasing drastically. Sanctions are crippling Iranian economy as military intervention or military invasion and occupation would. Sanctions are economic warfare. Please note that. US has been waging this war on Iran for a long time. Since tensions exploded on January 3rd with Trump's assassination of a popular Iranian general Soleimani, people around the world are wondering if this means World War III. Social media is buzzing with World War III memes. To set the record straight, we in America should not be afraid for ourselves, but we should instead be scared for the Iranian people.
Right.
It is doubtful that Iran will begin launching drone strikes on our backyard. It is unlikely that American children will watch their parents die in front of them.
Right.
And it is unlikely that United States cultural sites will be targeted by the Iranian military. However, all of this will likely to happen to Iranian people.
Right.
Thank you.
One of the most brilliant propaganda achievement of the US government that it can convince all of us that people we have never met are a mortal threat to the safety and security of this country. Pure lies. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei explained that when the Iranian people say death to America, they don't mean you and me. He elaborated, death to America means death to Trump, Bolton and Pompeo. We criticize American politicians, I'm quoting him, who are managing that country. The Iranian nation is not against American people. Can we blame them for feeling this way after examining the US government's history of meddling their affair?
Thank you.
Right.
I'm still, okay, sorry, okay.
Oh, you're great.
How many times have we been told the same lie? How many times have our working class siblings been sent to kill other working class people around the world? How many times?
So many times.
How many times our working class siblings have been sent to die for the wealthy?
Right.
It is our duty as people living in the core of the world imperialism to understand that war, violence and destruction keep the US government running. Even the most progressive leaders in the US have been repeatedly supported war and death around the world. The empire has an interest and the interest is not for democracy of the oppressed people, and under capitalism it will never be. We know this system, and both imperialist parties, Democrats and Republicans, support Trump's war. The United States passed a $738 billion defense bill, that is 20 billion more than last year and 120 billion more than under Obama. Many Democrats voted for it, along with most of the Republicans. Congress has never authorized the use of military force against Iran. The new war power resolutions, even though a positive step, will be toothless if Trump actually goes to war with Iran. It is silent on the existing, the War Power Resolution Act is silent on the existing occupation of neighboring Iraq. No Democrats will impeach Trump for that. We cannot rely on the Democratic Party resistance to halt this war drive. It has to be us, the working class of this country. We must recognize the system of capitalism that propagates war against Iraq and Iran begins here. It is the same system that murders indigenous socialist leaders in Bolivia and violently imposes neoliberal order in Chile and Ecuador. It is the same system that guns down black and brown people every day.
That's right.
Working class people all around the world are standing up and rejecting the global capitalist system that consolidates wealth into the hand of a few, and we must join them.
That's right.
Thank you all for coming out here in defense of the rights of the people around the world to decide their own leaders, to determine how their communities will run and by whom. The time is now to struggle collectively, take care of each other, and organize ourselves to take power away from the people who rule and run this country. The business people and the so-called politicians who profit from the murder of the people around the world. No trade, no bomb, no war with Iran. No justice, no peace, US out of the Middle East. Thank you.